So why don't we add a photo gallery block to the home page? So there was one here already, but I want to show you how to do this from scratch. So the block is just a representation of a photo page. So the first thing we need to do is make a content type that is basically a page loaded with photos. So let's do that first. So we're going to go up here to your top, and we're going to go to Content. It's under Manage. There's Content. And this shows all the content that this site has so far. Once your site is, in fact, if you're looking at a site you've already had built, there's a lot of content. But what you're going to want to do is say, Add Content, and we're going to pick Photo Gallery. And we're going to give it a title, and this is something that you're going to need to make a note of, is what you call this thing. Sample gallery of images. So I'm going to copy that because I'm going to need that later on. I could put some text in here, some content that would be above the gallery. I'm not going to do that because I don't really want it to display like that. And do you remember when we were doing a regular page in the WYSIWYG, above the WYSIWYG, I'm sorry, above the content, we had a nice little banner going across there. These are the same things. That's called a primary image. So I'm going to pick an image from my images I have all prepared. I didn't name my images very well here, but I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you do that. Name them better. Again, no spaces between the names, just hyphens. So I'm picking this image. So the image is taller than it really needs to be. So I know if I put this and leave it exactly with the crosshairs right in the middle, it's going to wind up cutting off the top of the subject's head a little bit. It's not going to read well. So I'm going to pull this up a little tiny bit. I'm going to click and then pull up. Getting it kind of in between. There's a dog and a vet. And then I will put a nice little misspelled alt tag. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to use that as a caption as well. Okay, so this is going to be on the top of this page where I'm going to have all these other photos. So I have those images all prepared, so I'm going to start putting those images in one at a time. Unfortunately, you can only do them one at a time. I have the same image. Now, that's fine that the crosshairs are right in the middle, because the image is going to display just as it is. So now I got the little crosshair, or the little arrows, and you'll see how we use those in a minute. And I'm going to say add a new file, and I'll pick the next image. Being oh so original with my alt tag and captions, you'd want to be more descriptive than I am doing right now. I'm going to add a third image. And I'm going to add a fourth image to complete this part. And now I have all 4 images in there with not very creative alt tags and captions. And I realized, oh man, I want to reorder these things. So if I grab those little arrows, I can drag up and down, and I can reorder these dudes. All right, so that's better. I like that. And when you start reordering things, you're going to notice that, oh, that's yellow. If I was to just try to move on from here, it would not actually save this. So I want to make sure that I save. Okay, so now I've got that primary image of the vet and the dog, and it's pretty good. I could move that little crosshair a little bit, and that would pull her up and show more of the dog's lower part of his face. But here's our images, and you can click on them. So this is a way of just having a page with a gallery set up on it, and you can just add a ton of images to this. And this is the sample gallery of images. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to that home page, and I'm going to put a block on there that's going to refer to this gallery. Okay, so the first thing we did is made a gallery page. Now I go back to my home page, and I'm going to show you something how you place an image, but we're going to get into this more thoroughly if you go to watch the video on adding blocks to a page. The adding blocks to a page, not just editing blocks. So what I'm going to do is go to place block. Then you get all of these little outlines, right? So this is the first sidebar. This is the main content area. This is the second sidebar, and things, you keep adding blocks in here and it just keeps populating on that side of the page. I have nothing on this side of the page. These are top content 1, 2, 3, and 4. This, maybe you have a page you just want to have 4 exactly the same width blocks. You would do it this way instead of with the content. But again, we'll get into that more if you go to watch the video on adding blocks to a page. So what I'm going to do now is just add a block to this second sidebar. So I click on the plus sign, and I know that this is a gallery. So I just type in either photo or gallery, and it shows me everything with that kind of name. And this is a slideshow photo gallery. So I say place block. For the beginning of this, I'm going to show you, I'm going to leave display the title. That'll be above the gallery. The gallery I want to display is, not that one. The gallery I want to display is the sample gallery of images. Remember that? And as soon as I do that, it sees that there is a thing like that. And so you click on that, and it now is connecting to that actual page, and it puts in this little, in parentheses, 836. That's the page ID name. It's a geeky thing. So to make this really clunky and look busy, I'm going to go ahead and say show the gallery title on the first slide. Give me thumbnails. Lazy load is a good thing because that's going to get the images so that the page loads a little bit faster. And I have the option of, for the title, putting some kind of a little icon with it. A weighted underline would make the title a little bit differently. Auxiliary will give a graphic. Icon gives another kind of a graphic. You can play around with that. The default size of the column, I want to leave it default. You can go half or 1/3. So remember, we're in this second sidebar. It's not very wide. So in this scenario, I don't want it to be any thinner. So I'm leaving it at default. That means 100%. And I'm going to say save block. As soon as I save the block, and this is with any blocks, it automatically takes you over to the block library. This is where all the blocks are that are on your website. And don't let this overwhelm you. If you look in there, you will see that these are all the blocks in the second sidebar. Not just on the home page, but maybe on other places in the site. So I know for a fact that that home page only has a couple things in the second sidebar, and I want this to be the second thing. So contact us right here. That's the first thing. So I'm going to drag this up here, and I know now if I put anything else on that page, if it's below that, that's how it'll show up on the page. So now I've moved that up a bit. I have to roll down to save blocks. And then I go back to site. Go back up here in the left corner. Now, here we go. I've got a gallery with a title showing. I'm telling it, go ahead and show the title of the particular gallery on the first slide. Show the caption, and here's your thumbnails. To me, that's pretty busy. So I am going to reconfigure this thing. I click on this, I say configure. I don't need the gallery to show. I'm like a visual guy. I just want this thing to stand out. So the way I do that, you have to have that title in there. I'm sorry. You just deselect display title. I do not want the gallery title on the first slide. I'm going to still keep lazy load, and I'm going to still keep the navigation, the little thumbnails below. I save. And now I still have that caption happening. So if I chose to not have the caption going on, what I would have to do is go back to that content page. I'd have to go to the gallery page that I made and turn off the, or just take that out of the caption area for each of the images, because that's where that's controlled. So in this case, I may not want that on this, because this is really the main thing I'm going for, is this block. But it may very well be that you're going to have the block bigger. I mean, you could have this block live inside of this area here instead of these 3 blocks, or maybe above these 3 blocks. You could add one more block here. In fact, just for fun, let's do that. We can have this block showing up on multiple places on this same page. I'm going to say gallery, slideshow photo gallery. I'm still going for that same gallery. I don't want the thumbnails though, and I don't want to display the title. I just want a nice gallery right there. I'm going to still say 100%. That's default. So in this area here, like the 3 little blocks I have in there now are market highlighting blocks. I have those set up to show at 1/3, but this guy's going to be 100% because I'm saying default. All right, I'm going to say save block. Okay, so now, see this content area here? I have these marketing highlight demo blocks. They're above that. I want this gallery to be above those 3 things. So now what I should see is a gallery with 3 blocks below it, and then 2 blocks below that with those other blocks that I have on the page. So I saved it, and I'm going to go back to site. I'm going to cross my knuckles. Okay. So now I've got kind of a grid set up a little different. I've got this gallery showing up a little bit bigger. Looks kind of cool there, and it does have a title on it. And I could make that title be a little more descriptive to this for the site itself. Or I don't have to choose to even have that on. So that's how you set up a gallery page, and then how you place a block that references those images as a nice little gallery on any other pages that you would like to use.